Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome in. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's time for Flat Out Racing North America Season 2, the first race of the season. And we're here with our amateur division, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, this should be a blast. So, let's go over some of the details for the race here today, shall we? As you can see on the screen in front of you, we are at Watkins Glen International Speedway. We're in the United States of America, and iconic, absolutely iconic racetrack there in New York State. So, Glen, I mean, what can we say about the Glen? It provides absolutely fantastic racing. This racetrack was designed for road-style car racing, whether it's down to Miatas, prototypes, GT4, GT3, C-Class cars. It just doesn't matter. This track is designed for racing. We do see the NASCAR guys come here as well. They run on a slightly different layout, of course, and we're going to see here tonight as we are on the international layout. So the drivers are going to start at the start-finish line, and they are going to hit the 90. After the 90, which is turn 1, ladies and gentlemen, they come up the run towards the back stretch, which is through a series of uphill S's that are a little sweeping left and right. You come onto a very long straightaway to the inner loop, or what we call the bus stop. Very, very fast set of chicanes. You come out through the outer loop, down the carousel, into the laces, the toe, the chute, the boot, the heel, whatever you want to call it. You come up and around, you come into a couple of really hard left-hand corners, and right back around the final corner to the start-finish line. A lap time here expected out of the amateur guys today is going to be anywhere between a 145 to a 150, depending on the tire that these drivers are on. They are driving the absolutely gorgeous Mercedes AMG GT3 race car here all season long. And we were on track with these fellows a little bit earlier here today, just get a feel for the car and see what these guys are up against. And the car is a lot of fun. It goes really quick, and it should be a good series. It's a stable car. It's a good car choice, I think, for our amateur division here. Now, these are the guys that are right on the verge of getting into the faster paced lobbies. So these are our guys that are still perfecting their racecraft, so this should be an absolutely bang up race here tonight from our amateur division. So let's remove some stuff. We're not done yet. We got all kinds of fun stuff for you guys here today. So as you can see, we are in the lobby here, and we're just allowing the staff to do their things, of course, in behind the scenes in the driver's chat, and of course here on track. So there's our list of drivers down in the right hand side of the screen. You can see who our list of amateur drivers is this season. We have SC Presents, I can't even read them, they're so small on my screen. We have Mr. Smurf, we have Apex Heathen in the list. Who else have we got? We've got OBR Jesus, ESG, we've got Andres Moreno, we've got CBM Merch, we've got Kel's Rec, who is the host of the lobby here tonight. We also have Prognitor and Apex Heathen. So one of the sponsor drivers here in the series as well. And it's talking about our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. The series here for all our divisions is two sets of sponsors here today. We have Apex Racing coming in with sponsorship and prizes for our drivers, and the big sponsor here is GTR Simulators, ladies and gentlemen. And GTR Simulators is giving a sim rig to the winner of each of the 4 divisions this season. So huge hype. The drivers have tons to battle over, and it's going to provide for some absolutely fantastic racing all season long. You guys are lighting up the chats here. I'm just getting my updates right now. We have LJ in the chat with a yo, let's go Heathen. We've got let's go, says Robert. Vamos con todo. We've got some Spanish speaking friends in the chat as well. We love that. Let's go Heathens. Mr. Smurf, get it, my boy. Toggle names, absolutely. We're going to go out and track in just a second here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over the race details here for you guys. So the amateur division is running slightly different than the rest of the divisions here. You can see we have a 15 times time of day multiplier. We have a grid start, we have fastest first after a qualifying session, 2 times tire wear, and 3 times fuel consumption, ladies and gentlemen. So every time these guys go around the racetrack, they're using 2 laps worth of fuel and 3 laps worth of tire. So strategy talk, ladies and gentlemen. What can we expect from these drivers here today? There's 2 strategies that could be in play in this 25 lap race here today. Racing mediums and the racing soft tires are the required compounds for the series. You have to use both sets. There is no pit window, there's no mandatory pit stop. With that being said, that means the driver's going to have to stop. They got to change to the other compounded tire, opposite of what they decide to start the race on. So we are going to see at least one pit stop from these drivers, which leads us to strategy number 1. Our first strategy in play here tonight is a one-stop strategy. What we could potentially see from these drivers is most of these drivers start on the medium compounded tire, run that tire for anywhere from 12 to 15 to however many laps they can get out of it, come in, pit, take soft tires, enough fuel to cover the laps they've got left, and send it for the win. The other strategy on the other side of the playing field here is the two-stop strategy. Now this strategy is quite interesting. The drivers can opt to start on a soft or the medium tire, have a short soft tire stint, jump on some medium tires with some lower fuel in the car, which means the car is going to be lighter, it's going to be a little less aggressive on the medium tires, it should be a little bit quicker. You can run a little bit of a mid stint or a longer stint on the mediums, and then run a short stint on the softs, or start on the medium tires. You run those medium tires for 10, 12 laps, so you split to short, maybe 7 lap stints or 6 lap stints on the softs. You take very limited fuel only to cover that stint, and then when you come back in for that second set of soft tires, you take a little bit of fuel to cover your stint. And the objective of the two-stop race, ladies and gentlemen, is to absolutely full send it. Don't have to worry about saving tires, don't have to worry about saving fuel, drive faster than everybody else is the point of the two-stop strategy. In this particular division here in the amateur side, I am going to strongly suggest that we're probably going to see a lot of one-stop strategy from our drivers here today, as it is the stronger strategy with the settings in play. So, I do suspect we're going to see a lot of one-stops out of the drivers here today, but we have to watch to find out, see what's really going to shake down here for everybody. So we're just waiting for qualifying to get started, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? This is the first one for Season 2 of Flat Out Racing North America. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Thank you for hanging out. Moving forward, we will be broadcasting these also on the Flat Out Racing YouTube channel as well. We got LJ coming in with the thumbs up, Peyton coming in with the thumbs up. We've got Keith Holt with the sub. We've got Andreas Moreno with the sub over on YouTube as well. Much love. Corey Hawkins also coming in with the follow a little while ago on the Facebook channel. So much love, everybody. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the winner's circle. All right, let's catch up with Heathen. Get her done, buddy. Heathen, my boy, let's go. We have some fans for the sponsored driver from Apex Racing in this division. Apex Heathen, boy, he has some fans in the chat here. We've seen some fans from Mr. Smurf. OBR, you want some nicknames? All right. We can't do the nicknames until we actually get out into the track. We are going to leave it as PSN names, however, though, because that is how these drivers are known. So that's how we are going to leave it for now. Let's jump on track. Let's see who's out throwing down some final testing laps. We got Moreno here in the Mercedes. Nice look at livery here on these cars as well. So we're going to get our first look at these liveries in the series as well, which is fantastic. So it should be good to see all those beautiful paint jobs on the racetrack here today. And I think that's the only driver we actually have on track here. So let's go for a lap around with Andre Moreno as he is getting those last final couple laps in. Qualifying should be starting here in about 5 minutes. I got 20 bucks on Heathens, says Tattooed Freak. Hey, Apex Heathens and the Apex Sim Racing Team channel. Hey, facts. We have a lot to work out there, guys. We have to go through this process here because it's a process. Haha. But yeah, we're going to be all over the place here when we're broadcasting, starting tomorrow potentially, but logistics, we got to get the logistics formed out, so we'll deal with that tomorrow. But yeah, we're just waiting here. We're just chilling. We're hanging out with our guys. We are missing a couple of the drivers. We're missing Chip Reese here today, and I believe we're missing another driver as well, due to just not being able to be in the race here today. So there is 2 drop rounds in effect, I believe it is, in the season. So that is good for the drivers that are unable to make a couple of the races. They have a little bit of leeway in the chase for the championship, which means the drop round just gets rid of your 2 worst rounds. So at the end of the season, the beautiful staff here, Flat Out Racing North America, will take everybody's standings. They're going to get rid of their worst 2 rounds, and then we'll see where the standings settle at the end of the season, and we'll crown some champions, and champions get some sweet gear and some pretty sweet equipment. So lots to race for here, and we've been seeing these guys practice here now for about 10 days since we did our qualifying, and of course since we had our race off last Sunday here as well, for Flat Out Racing for those final 2 Elite Division spots, and we've seen how crazy that race was. Now we're going to put a grid out on the track, and we're going to see what a whole field of these guys could do. So there we go. We got Apex Heathens driver out right now. So Apex Racing Team here, sponsored driver here, part of the team. The only one from Apex here in the field in the AM division. So we'll jump out on board. We'll show them some love here. Absolutely gorgeous livery here. on that car. Get a little camera shot love in there. And it's going to be a fight. I've been watching these guys practicing, and I see about 4 drivers that I've seen actually put some times in that are going to have a really good battle for sure. And everybody else has been kind of keeping it to themselves here. They're not running laps. They're just kind of chilling out, so they don't want to show their cards right before race time here is what it seems to me. So what can we expect when we go around Watkins Glen here? Well, these cars are a lot of horsepower on low torque, so on the low end of the gears, these cars have a lot of horsepower. You can utilize that in these cars to get around this track quite efficiently. Well, I mean, the names don't match with your graphic. Oh, I gotcha. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you, Corey. We'll look into that further for sure. We are seeing nicknames, I think, on the driver's list. I think you are correct. So we could switch that from here, actually. There we go. So we got Andres, Apex Heating, Koke, K Ricard, Venice Speed, S Clarkson, Mr. Smurf, Merch, all on the racetrack. There we go. I knew we were missing one driver or another here as well, so I think that's what we're just waiting for here, and then we're going to get qualifying. I believe it's a 10-minute qualifier, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if the amateurs have a little bit of a longer qualifying session or not, but we are going to go into a qualifying session, so we'll see the lobby reset from the admin, the host of the lobby, who's Kelsrek, and once that happens, the drivers will go out, they'll do their qualifying. They're allowed to use slipstream in qualifying. They're utilize whatever they can. They can run around the racetrack for 3 laps and empty that fuel tank and just do a one-shot hot lap if that's what they opt to do in qualifying. They can qualify on whatever tire they want, and of course they can start on whatever tire compound they want. So depending on how these drivers qualify in qualifying will determine where these drivers start on the soft or medium tire potentially as well. So we could see some Lewis Hamilton strategies in the race today, or we could just see what I expect to see and see the majority of the drivers starting on the medium tire. 1 minute qualifying start is the word, so we are almost ready to go here. We got 10 drivers of, I believe, the 13 that are in the series so far, so good turnout here for night 1. And I hope everybody enjoys. These are family-friendly broadcasts, so please, your kids are sitting there trying to peek over the couch to see what mommy and daddy are watching. Feel free. Get them to snuggle up in beside, give them their favorite blankie, give them a drink, and let them watch 100% family-friendly broadcasts here during our commentary here at Flat Out Racing North America, so everybody gets to enjoy the content, and we appreciate everybody's patronage as well. Vic coming in with that thumbs up as well over on Facebook. Much love, my guy. Let's go Heathen, says Vic as well. Heathen has some fans in the chat tonight. Oh boy, no pressure, no pressure. So here we go. We got Bear Chaos 299 up on track here right now, throwing in a couple of quick laps here before that qualifying starts just to get this rhythm back underneath. These guys have been practicing all week. They're not coming into this thing unprepared. They know what needs to be done, and the bus stop is where we're going to see a lot of action happen here today for sure. Turn 1 is always a concern at race start, but the bus stop is where all the action happens, and sorts the men from the boys in racing here at Watkins Glen. So it is going to be by whether or not these drivers want to play nice through the bus stop. They want to try and go 2x2 through there, then we could see some cars getting a little bit out of sorts. They want to sit single file through the bus stop. We're going to see some absolutely great racing action. So it's going to come down to what the drivers do on track here now. So they're just going to reset the lobby. You'll see me get kicked out of the spectator mode. I'm just going to make life easy and just jump out for them. And then we're going to kick this thing off. So again, this is presented by Flat Out Racing North America. This is their season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 divisions split into 5 divisions because the Pro-Am lobby is so big. We had to use 2 lobbies in order to sort our Pro-Am divisions out this season. Sponsored by Apex Racing Team and GTR Simulators. And some of the graphics seen here are done by the amazing media guru Yanni, who's not on track tonight but is racing in the series in a different division, who we will see Monday night via rebroadcast in the Pro division. So we'll go over a little bit more of that with you guys and gals a little bit later in the broadcast. We'll let you know what's going down for the other lobbies moving forward through the rest of the weekend and into the new week. All right, so we are resetting the room. That means qualifying will now be getting underway. So we're going to see all the drivers check back in, and we're going to see these guys start to drive. Could you shoot me the Discord invite whenever you have time? You betcha, Petey. You betcha, brother. Send me a messenger message on the gaming page. If I haven't seen one yet, because you have, my apologies. I'm usually pretty quick to prompt to answer on that, and I'll get there after the race, and we'll get you an invite, my friend. We'll get you all qualified in. Anybody interested in still wanting to compete in the series, there are, depending on the division you qualify in, there could be a full-time spot available if there is room in that particular division. If you qualify for a division that is already full, you will be a substitute driver for that division. They are still accepting registrations for qualifying for the series, but it will be coming in as a substitute driver most likely. But gets you here, gets you racing with the guys, gets you into the league, and then of course it gives you a shot at the early registration moving into a Season 3 whenever it is that they choose to do that down the road. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we appreciate you, Petey. We appreciate your support, Mike. I hope you've been doing well. We're just going to run through. We're just going to make sure everything's rocking and stocking here over on the Facebook and YouTube channel. Make sure everything is still moving and functioning properly. Looks like everything's working great. Now, we had a little bit of a lag at the start of the stream. I do apologize. The computer just needed a little time to adjust. So, all right. We're going to jump on board with the Apex Racing driver here in the division to start off with. He's coming out first on track, so we're going to jump on board with Heath, and we're going to kind of talk you guys around Watkins Glen. So we're in the S's right now. This is an uphill section. It's a full speed section. You're going to want to hug the curves and just kind of follow that dark line on the racetrack we're seeing through the windshield of Heathen's car here. Now we're going to be coming up to what's called the bus stop, and at about the 100-meter board, we're going to see him just hit the brakes, downshift the gear here, and he's just going to try and rotate through here. He's got some cold tires and a full tank of fuel, so that's all right. Outlap, doesn't matter, get rid of that penalty. So now we're coming through the carousel essentially now, and then we're going to be coming into two really hard left-hand corners. So a left-hander here on the brakes at the 200-meter board, and just kind of rolling through in third. As soon as you got the line, you're back on the power as early as possible. Use that outside curb. A little short there by Ethan, but that's all right. Coming into this right-hander at the second board, you're on your brakes. You downshift into third. If you need rotation, down into second. You can see him losing a little RPM there. If you drop that down into second, he'd come out of there with a little more speed, but not having the extra shift will also gain him a little bit of time. And again, this is just the outlap here. And then we're coming into this really hard right-hand corner. This is typically a second gear corner for rotation and back into third, but you see Heathen just taking it easy here. Maybe he's burning some fuel out of this car. Braking at the 100-meter board here, riding through third gear here. I typically drop down to second again just for rotation and keep the RPMs up on the car a little more exit speed. We're going to come through here into fourth gear. It's just going to be a lift on the car, but you're seeing these guys drive the cars a little bit differently than I would drive this Mercedes, but I guess that's what separates them from me as far as our divisions go. A little touch on the brake and on the power as early as possible. Trying to use all the racetrack ideally. And that is just a quick lap with Heathen around Watkins Glen. So now the laps count, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to bring it all up here. And then we're going to get you into the live screen. So let's kick you over here. Let's get you into the big screen here. Let's just let you guys take a look at all the action in its raw form. You guys are killing it out there. Peyton, who we missing? What up? Let's go, Heathen. Clean laps, brother. Miller Time Gaming raid. Hey, Dennis Miller. Miller Time Gaming coming in the house from Facebook Gaming, coming in with a big time raid. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome. Welcome to Flat Out Racing North America Series AM Division Season 2 Round 1 Watkins Glen 25 lap showdown with our Mercedes AMG GT3s. These guys have just started qualifying, so great timing. We got Merch here in third, carry a half-second track limit penalty, so that's going to kill his first qualifying lap. We got Andres here in fourth place with Venice Speed in fifth. We got Kelsrek or K Ricard here in sixth place to host of the lobby. We got Koke here in seventh. We got Peria? Hope I said that correctly. I apologize if I haven't. We got S. Clarkson here in ninth place. We've got Barrett Chaos here in 10th, so the final qualifying driver. So right now, Mr. Smurf is leading the charge here. We might see some of these drivers dive into pit lane, take some soft tires, maybe opting to start on the medium tire. We're going to see these guys swapping around a little bit here, so we are going to leave all the racing information up for you guys during the qualifying, but come live racing event, we got something a little special for you viewers, a little sneak peek of what to expect here from Flat Out Racing once we put together the custom overlay package being supplied by High Pre Graphics here this season. So, hey, look at all the love coming in for Anthony coming in, Onk coming in. We got Paymay here, PD Snow, Miller Time Gaming. You guys absolutely legends. Thank you so much for coming in. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of an extra special thing we've added to the broadcast tonight. I meant to mention earlier, we are raising money for Wounded Warriors Project here during the Flat Out Racing America broadcast this week. It is Memorial Day, our Veterans Day weekend, and Remembrance Day weekend here in North America. We are honoring our veterans and our servicemen and women here in North America this weekend. So, if you're able and you're willing, on the Facebook page, right where you would comment, you just push the little comment, the little 3 boxes, and it's going to bring you up an option to either support to the page, send stars, or donate to the Wounded Warriors charity, Wounded Warriors Project charity. It takes you through a secure website, Facebook website, and you put in your information, how you want to pay, how much you want to put in, and that donation goes directly to the Wounded Warrior Project organization. So we are raising money for Wounded Warrior Project during this series for the races this week. So if you're willing and able, we appreciate you. If not, thank you for being here and showing all that support either way. And to all our servicemen and women out there who have served and are currently serving, thank you for your service. We appreciate everything that you guys grant us by putting your lives on the line for ours. Thank you very much on behalf of GT45 Gaming. Thank you, viewers, for anybody who is able to donate. We appreciate you. Back to the action. Alright, so Koke in pole position here with a 146.145, so really solid qualifying lap there. Mr. Smurf with a 147.0, he's just about 8/10 of a second, so Koke looking very quick. Merch is 7/10 of a second behind him with a 147.7. We got Andres with a 147.8. We've got Perea, I'm going to try and get this right tonight, with a 148.3. We've got Bear Chaos here with a 148.6. We've got Ricard here with a 49.8. We've got Clarkson with a 50. Apex Heathen with a 52.1. Now, hasn't put in his best lap yet, so we'll have to see what he's got in Venice Speed here with a, what looks to be a 49. So, Koke in provisional pole position here, but you can see Mr. Smurf is starting to bleed into that time. Chris Reeves coming in with the thumbs up, Anthony with the like and the share. We got Pete Snow with the like and the share, Miller Time Gaming with the like and the share, Anthony Saloon with the like again, Dustin Valentine with the like, Onk with the like. Oh my goodness, you guys are killing it out there. Welcome in, everybody. Hope we're all doing fantastic. I wonder how that subtitle guy is able to type that fast. I have no idea, Onk. I have no idea. That guy is a legend. Haha. Alright, so here we go. Mr. Smurf here in second. He's knocked a couple tenths off the leader, but Merch is only 8/100ths behind Mr. Smurf, so we're starting to see these guys tighten up. Perea here, 3/10, just about 4/10 of a second behind our third place driver. We got Andres here in 5th place, Venice Speed in 6th. We've got, Bear Chaos getting it all wrong there and just trying to get out of the way of anybody potentially coming here. Unfortunate for him. We got K. Ricard here in 8th place. We've got Clarkson coming into pit lane. He's changing tires, and we got Heathen here in 10th. 149.1 on a pit lap, so he's now going to be on a flyer here. So we're going to see Heathen where he settles in here after he completes this lap. Steel Reeves, the legend. Hey, facts. We got Alexa Star coming in with that like as well over on the Facebook page. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Smurf here in 2nd place, trying to get a little more time here, trying to get that pole position. Merch still very, very close here. We're going to see these guys coming around here very soon. Where is Heathen going to end up is the big question here. We know that he's on a flyer. He is catching up to some traffic here. He's up into 9th now, but we did have a driver going to pit lane, so the live timing is a little out to date here for what we're seeing. So, Apex Heathen on the prowl. Let's see what he can do here. Hopefully, he's able to utilize some slipstream here coming into the final run. That might actually gain him some extra time here as well. Great exit there by both these drivers as we're coming through the final 2 corners and then that run to the start-finish line. Fairly high-speed sector here. You don't want to lose time here. You really just want to lock it in and get a nice smooth set of corners here. You're going to maximize that exit coming out of the final corner here. You can see Heathen got a great exit there. Oh, yes, utilizing all that racetrack. And let's see what he does as he comes in here on the outlap is a 2:08. All right, so flying for Heathen. Koke in the lead, 5/10 of a second still provisional pole. Mr. Smurf is slowly but surely chipping away at that pole position time, looking very strong out there. Beautiful liveries on these cars, folks. Merch here from our Canadian side of North America representing, sitting in 3rd place. We have Perea all the way from Mexico. So we have drivers from all up and down, from north to south here in the field today. We love to see it. We have Venice Speed here as well from South America. So we have lots of our Spanish-speaking fellow friends here in the series. We got Bear Chaos here in 6th place. He's looking pretty solid. United States driver here. We got K. Ricard up into 7th, another U.S. represented driver here. We've got S. Clarkson all the way from the United Kingdom racing here today at Watkins Glen with our amateur drivers, and Apex Heathen from the United States. Now, Apex Heathen's in a tight spot here. If he's got the pace on this driver, he's going to need to find a way to get around him quickly, or just stay in that slipstream and hope he's got the pace to pull him up further into the field. Apex Heathen's not having the best qualifying here, but we do know that he's a solid driver. And Koke getting it all kinds of wrong there, but a great save in that Mercedes. Again, very stable car coming out of these corners here. Legend says Tim can take 24/7 talking. Facts. Coyote is alive again. We love to hear it, Onk. We love to hear it. Great commentary coming. I love it. Hey, we appreciate you, Payman. We appreciate you. So, Mr. Smurf chasing. These guys are probably nearing the end of their qualifying here at this point now. So, these guys need to absolutely make quality of their laps. We got Apex Heathens coming around the final corner here right now. He's on his official hot lap here. We're going to see a 47 from Venice Speed up in front. Where does Heathen settle in? P4. So Heathen on the prowl, 146.943. So Apex Heathen's now up into P4 here. So here we go. Koke still in the lead, 0.5 of a second, sitting in provisional pole. We've got Mr. Smurf, and his lap is squashed for Mr. Smurf. 1 second penalty, really unfortunate for him. Merch also carrying a 0.5 second penalty here, so that's going to kill this lap for him. So opportunity knocks for Heathen here to start on one of these podium positions starting the race. All right, so final lap for these drivers. That's it. Venice Speed here in 5th, just behind, 0.2 of a second behind that Apex Heathen. We got Perea here in 6th place, looking very, very consistent here. You can see the tire wear starting to affect him a little bit here, losing a little bit of the pace. Let's see if he can put in a nice flyer here now. We got Andres in 7th as well. He's out on fresh tires. We got Bear Chaos coming in 148.4, improving, moving up into 8th. We got K. Ricard here dropping all the way down to 10th. And Andres now moving up into P8 as well. So let's get back up to the front of our field here. Ooh, doggy. Let's go, Mr. Smurf. Hey, appreciate you, man. Williams, look at that. There we go. We're seeing fans coming from all over the globe coming in for all our drivers. That's what we like to see. That's what it's all about. Welcome in, everybody. But Koke looking like the driver to beat very early on here as Mr. Smurf's coming around. He did have that penalty, so we don't suspect to see him improve there. Let's follow Koke as he's coming around. Final lap for a majority of these drivers here. We're going to start seeing all these drivers pull over at the end of turn 1, and he is purple, so he's looking yet to improve. And we are going to do some podium interviews at the end of the race, so hopefully we have somebody that can do some translating if these guys don't speak English. If not, I feel really bad because I don't speak very good Spanish. And purple with a 145.547. So Koke absolutely showing some dominance here very early on. Heathen comes across in P2 with a 146.156. Heathen showing he's got some pace here. Mr. Smurf unable to improve. We got Merch coming around here now. None of these drivers really improving much on that last lap except for Koke and Apex Heathen. Everybody else is still settled into their respective positions here in the grid. We do have our 10th place driver Bear Chaos here also up. So on board with Koke. Let's see who is close to the start finish line here. Oh, right there. All right, so Clarkson's going to be our first driver to officially finish qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see right now. Let's see if he pulls over at the end of the turn here. He's going to come across with a 148.2, so not improving on that best time. And qualifying still going. Must be 15 minutes here. The commentator of the series, I don't even know the qualifying time. Way to go, me. The amateur division is slightly different than the Pro-Am. The Pro and the Elite divisions here in the series, they're on slightly different settings than the rest of the series, so I just got to adapt to the slight tweaks in the settings for this particular division. Of course, we want these guys to enjoy their racing and have fun, so we're not trying to make it super difficult. We want these guys to learn, pick up that pace, and find their ways into that Pro-Am division next season. So that's what it's all about here, letting these guys compete and have some good, wholehearted competition on the racetrack. but Heathen takes pole from Koke, and Koke cannot get it back, so Apex Heathen by 3/1000ths of a second, ladies and gentlemen, managing to squeeze pole position from Koke. Absolutely fantastic lap by Apex Heathen to just snake out that pole position, and Koke's going around again. I don't think Koke realizes that that's the end of qualifying, maybe, or Heathen is just happy with his lap. So Merch is still coming around here in 4th place. Venice Speed is done. We say Heathen has pulled out of the way, coming up the hill through the S's. We got Koke has now stopped as well. He realizes qualifying is over. So who is left on a lap here? We do have Merch still on a flyer, so let's stick with Merch here, sitting 4th place. Not sure if he's up or down. We'll find out as he comes across. He is on a personal best here. Can he grab enough time to pass Smurf on the final flying lap here? No, he's going to pull it out. He's going to call it here. All right, so 4th place will be Merch. Perea moving up into 5th place. We got Clarkson in 6th, Andre in 7th. We've got Ricard in 8th. We've got Bear Chaos in 9th place, and we've got Venice Speed rounding out in 10th. I believe he is 5th behind Perea, or just ahead of Perea. So those two drivers, and that's just because he's sitting in pit lane. He must have opted to switch his tires before the start of the race. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be kicking into this race, and a little sneak peek at what you can expect from the custom overlay graphics next week from our AM division. We got something a little special for you guys. And here at GT45 Gaming, when we do our commentary broadcast, we believe strongly in fair play during our live broadcasts. We do realize that the racers sometimes listen in on the broadcast, and sometimes they have family watching the broadcast as well. So to keep everything on the up and ups, to make sure that we're keeping the drivers focused at the race at hand, we do this. Bada bing, bada boom. Compliments of High Pre Graphics, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute legend this guy is. I use him for all my broadcasting graphics. So this little bottom banner is going to now stay up until about midway point through the race, where we will drop that banner for everybody to take a little peek at the tire and fuel situation from these drivers. And then at that point, we will put that banner back up right until race end. And of course, all the countries up top are represented here in the series through all our divisions. And hashtag #ReRaces1, because that's what we do here at the sim racing community, ladies and gentlemen. We are one, and we are all for one and one for all. So we race together, we cry together, we laugh together, and that's what we do here as a community and a family in sim racing. And it's no different here at Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. So these guys are going to kick this race off. I think they're just giving the drivers an opportunity to change tires if needed, and we're going to line up this grid. Mr. Smurf going up into 2nd there, and I'm not sure if that was a legitimate lap or not. Alright, so you can see all the drivers now have jumped into pit lane. Potentially maybe an initialization error. This is Gran Turismo 7. We still have some bugs and kinks we have to work out of the game, of course. So we work within it here. So we're just kind of waiting for these guys to kick it off. So 15-minute qualifier is all said and done here. And it's going to be game time here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. This is 25 laps around Watkins Glen, round 1 for our amateur division here at Flat Out Racing North America. As you can see on the bottom of the banner, sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team. Commentary done by GT45 Gaming. And of course, you can follow them there on their link at Instagram on the bottom right-hand side of that banner. We do appreciate all the support from everybody here tonight, and we are just waiting for these guys to kick it off. So we're going to jump out. We're waiting for, looks like, one driver here. All right. So, pole sitter is Apex Heathen. Very important position right there. Bonus points for Heathen to start this race off right out the bat. He's got 1 point in the bag to start this race. So, let's get it going, folks. Let's turn on some beautiful information for you guys. And let's get this race going, shall we? Alright, chase cam. So here we go. Heathen getting a really good start off the line there in this Mercedes AMG GT3. And you can see the field bearing down on turn 1 side by side. And everybody getting through safe and sound, right and tight. And that's what we like to see here at Flat Out Racing North America. Great job by our AM drivers to start this race off. Red flag situation very quickly disappearing here now and out of play in this race. It's game on. 25 laps around Watkins Glen. Let's go. Moving down the field, we have Koke in 2nd place. Right he started with Venice Speed teammate just in behind. You can see very similar liveries on these two cars. And let's see what they can do to catch up to Apex Heathen very early on here in the race. You can see Venice Speed just in behind, making a mistake coming out of the bus stop, and he's going to pay the price. Stewart's going to slap him with a half-second track limit penalty, and that is going to cost him position come the penalty serving zone. So third place driver Venice Speed here, and a little bit of a gap from the rest of the field. Ooh, Mr. Smurf getting it all kinds of wrong. Woo, woo, woo. That was close, ladies and gentlemen. Great job by all these drivers to keep out of trouble in behind Venice Speed here. So Ricard, the very quick mover early on in this race here. A little bit of contact between some of the drivers there. Everybody comes out okay. Okay, Ricard up the road, P4. Mr. Smurf in behind with that spin we've seen just a little bit earlier there in P5. We see Clarkson coming out for a move. Let's get on board with Clarkson here as he's going to try and get the job done coming into this corner beside Bear Chaos, and he's got a great run out of the corner there, but now Bear Chaos, if he can stay beside, is going to have the next inside line. Oh, and caught up by traffic is S. Clarkson, so he is going to lose out in that battle. Bear Chaos is going to move back up into P6. Great defense there by Mr. Smurf, and oh, inside, real late on the brakes. Is he going to be able to make this move work? Absolutely sent that move through that corner and getting the job done, moving back up into P6. Oh, and Mr. Smurf getting it all kinds of wrong. Oh my goodness, all the way down to the back of the field. Absolutely tight racing here from this AM division very early on. You can see Merch in 7th place in that slipstream coming into T1 here. And just going a little bit wide. Ooh, track limit penalties for 7th, 6th, and 5th place coming, folks. Andre is going to win in this deal, and 2x2, here we go. Side by side coming up the S's, leading into the bus stop. Let's see how these guys navigate it. A little bit of contact there. Great job by Andres to keep the car together. And these are our amateur guys. These guys are still learning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see a little bit of contact made here between these drivers. They're handling it spectacularly tonight and showing some great patience. Just some minor mistakes here so far on the racetrack. These guys are doing a fantastic job here. Keep going, guys. Half-second penalty here for Perea in behind in 9th place. That's going to hurt his run. But Mr. Smurf now all the way back into P10 here, having a little bit of an early struggle. There's lots of racing left. This driver just can't panic at this point. Really, like I said, one-stop strategy being a viable strategy here could pay him dividends here if some of these drivers decide to go with a two-stop strategy. So we'll have to see how this works out for Mr. Smurf here as he continues on. But our race leader is Apex Heathen. We're going to jump out real quick, chat. We're going to come back in so we can get some TV cameras for you guys. There we go. Let's bring that information back up for everybody. We're going to shut all that off. We're going to shut all that on, and bam, here we go. Fastest lap currently held by Apex Heathen with a 152.418. Clarissa coming in with that light. Chris Reeves sending the 100-star bomb. Are you ready, Ghost? We about to get it now. Hey, let's get a hashtag Chris up in the chats over there on YouTube and Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, absolute legend. Again, we are raising money for Wounded Warriors here tonight on the Facebook page. If you want to go and help the Wounded Warrior Project out in here in North America, head over to the Facebook page, GT45 Gaming at Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. There is a safe, secure donation link connected right to the Facebook stream, and Facebook will take care of the rest for you. It's a safe, secure process. I promise you, or I wouldn't ask you to do the process. So we do appreciate anybody who can, and anybody who has, thank you very much. We will catch up on all that at the end of the race for sure, and make sure you legends get those shout-outs you deserve. And to all our service men and women serving currently or who have served, thank you very much for your service. We appreciate you. Thank you for laying your lives on the line so we can continue to enjoy our freedoms here back home. You're absolute heroes and legends. On behalf of GT45 Gaming, thank you very much. So, K. Ricard in 4th place. Let's get back to racing. Clarkson in 5th, starting to move up the grid here. A little bit of lag from this driver. We have Andres here in 6th place, so he has moved up a couple of positions due to drivers having penalties. We see teammate Perea right in behind here in 7th. We've got Bear Chaos in 8th, chasing with Merch in 9th. And 11 seconds down the road is Mr. Smurf. That time can be made up with some good, crisp, clean laps. But Koke now in the lead of the race. So Apex Heathen making some form of mistake or having some form of issue here on the racetrack. And Koke now 1.5 seconds up the road. New race leader, Koke, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Heathen now on the chase. We got Axel A. Fuentes coming in with that thumbs up too. Much love. Welcome in, everybody. All right, here we go. Koke has now grabbed race lead, and Purple Venice Speed now owning the fastest lap on the track with a 147.244. But Koke is now the man everybody is chasing here at Watkins Glen on lap 3. We're coming into lap 4. 1.8 second lead on second place driver Apex Heathen, and Heathen now chasing at fastest lap on track now belonging to to Koke with a 146.7. So Heathen, a little bit off that time here right now, but has him in his sights. 1.9 seconds. He does have some pressure coming from Venice Speed here in third place, though, and slowly starting to gain. He is in that slipstream, so it's going to come down to who gets the better exit out of the bus stop here. So let's see what happens between these two drivers as we're approaching the bus stop now. So Venice Speed chasing. Can he gain time coming into the bus stop? He is purple. And that's a pretty good looking bus stop by both these drivers here. And it does appear that Venice Speed is going to gain some time here. We're down into 4/10 away from Heathen. So Heathen facing a little bit of pressure here from Venice Speed. We've got Clarkson here in 4th place, about 6 seconds behind these guys right now, but not out of this race, with Ricard just 2.8 seconds behind in 5th place. He's having a fantastic race himself here. Perea in 6th now, so he's moved all the way up from 9th place into 6th place here. Ooh, getting a little bit wrong into the entry of that corner. You see that Mercedes getting a little sideways on him. So these drivers are definitely feeling the pressure from each other around them here. We do have Merch with another half-second track limit penalty. Watkins Glen is not very kind when it comes to track limits here. They will make you pay the price and absolutely serve that half or 1 second track limit penalty. So you need to keep it right and tight getting through these corners here at Watkins Glen. But Koke is our current race leader, and we are going to jump on board with Koke here for a couple of corners, and this is what it looks like in these Mercedes AMG GT race cars, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give you a nice little look here at what these drivers got to look at. It's a little touchy, but this is about what she looks like here in this Mercedes. So coming into turn 1 here, and you can see him coming in very late on the brakes here, and really having to jam on those brakes. He actually kind of missed that corner a little bit, and that's going to allow Apex Heathen in behind to catch up a little bit here. So the gap's starting to close. You can see it under a second now. So Apex Heathen now chasing down our race leader. So he's in a tough spot here in 2nd place. He's trying to catch up and play offense on that P1 driver. But in behind, he's got to worry about Venice Speed and still play a little bit of defense now, making sure he's aware where that driver is and not give him a free shot or a free line around the racetrack. So Heathen now settling into his race here. He's just hugging the inside line here as we come around the carousel. Going to sweep this out wide, use all that racetrack. Great exit. Going to come in under a little bit of late braking here. Is going to force him a little bit wide, but the benefit to this corner is you can still get a pretty good exit even on a wide entry. So, and you can see that here. He just lost just a snippet of time to our leader Koke there, and then of course coming up the hill here as we're getting into the what they call the 90. I think that's turn 1. They call the 90. We're coming into the final couple hairpin corners. Would be a right-hander and then a left-hander and then a sweeping left-hander into a sweeping right-hander, and on to lap 6 we go. So Venice Speed here in P3, and he's in a pretty good spot. He's got a decent cushion behind him here. He really could just focus on trying to catch up to P2 and P1 Koke and Heathen up in front here. So Venice Speed right now in a good spot. Just needs to really focus on good, clean, tight lines to try to work on catching those guys up in front. We got S. Clarkson here in 4th place. You can see him having to use the shifter a little bit to get around that corner safely, but great recognition that he was going to go wide there. And he is on a personal best lap here on lap 5. So 4th place driver also in a pretty good spot here. Just has to focus on really what he's got in front of him here at the moment. We got K. Ricard here as well in P5. He has some pressure. He's got a driver right up on the back end of him in Perea here. This driver is looking solid. He is a racer. You can tell this guy performs much better under racing condition than qualifying very early on in this AM Division race here today, and he's showing it on the racetrack. He does get a little bit wide in T1 there, though. Maybe a little bit of dirty air playing a factor there. He's going to get the run. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the two drivers, but that half-second penalty has nothing to do with that contact. That's from him running wide into the 90-degree corner they called it here at Watkins Glen, turn 1. So that penalty isn't from any contact. That penalty is from him just shooting a little bit wide into T1 here. So tried to make a move there with the penalty to try not to lose any extra time to the driver in front. But you can see he's much better through the bus stop in the inner loop section here and coming into the carousel again. And maybe Ricard not paying attention to that radar, realizing that there's a driver there. You see Andre's got a little bit wrong coming out of the bus stop there in 7th place trying to chase these guys down. We got Mertz just behind here in 8th, and then we got some space. We've seen Smurf have a little bit of a complication there early on in the race. He got a little bit sideways, dropping down to 9th place. Lots of race left here for him. He's just got to lock it in. We got Bear Chaos here in 10th place as well, so having a little bit of struggles himself here, a little bit off the pace, but still on the track, giving it everything he's got. So let's let our TV crew take over here for a little bit and let's talk about the race. How we enjoying the race here so far, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty great stuff here by our amateur division here today. Again, proudly sponsored by GTR Simulator and Apex Racing Team, ladies and gentlemen. And I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. So thank you very much for being here and tuning in today. I hope the viewing graphics have been fantastic so far, and I hope that the audio is absolutely spectacular for everybody's viewing pleasure today. Apex Heathen 1.5 seconds behind our current race leader, Koke, and just kind of sitting in a rhythm here right now. He's not forcing the issue right now. I don't think he feels he needs to force the issue right now on Koke. I think he's just content with sitting behind and running out his strategy. We will drop and give you guys a little bit of information on what these guys are on for tires and fuel in a little bit. But for now, the banner stays up. Wahaha. Alright, I'm kidding. Venice Speed here in P3. Huge shout out to Hyper Graphics for the sneak peek at what we can expect moving forward into our Elite Division broadcast live tomorrow night at, what is it, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, ladies and gentlemen. You heard me correct. The Elite Division live broadcast at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here at GT45 Gaming and Flat Out Racing North America YouTube and the Apex Sim Racing YouTube. S. Clarkson here, ooh, coming in really hot there, and he's going to lose some time there. That's really unfortunate for Clarkson. You can see he came in really hot there. He got that rear end of that Mercedes loose, and that's going to eat up those rear tires a little bit. And you really depend on those rear tires here at Watkins to get the power down to the ground as early as possible, so you don't want to be chewing them up. So that was an unfortunate mistake there from Ricard. Just missing his braking a little bit, going a little deep in there, and that's going to allow Perea to really start to close back up here on our 5th place driver. So Perea is looking like he is going to be the big mover here so far today in the race. Andre's in 8th place, just behind chasing. He's looking very solid as well. Mr. Smurf has had great pace all day. Just got an early on racing incident. Got himself into the wall potentially and spun a little bit in the final corner. Maybe caught some grass and got that car spun around. So he had to get himself corrected and get back into the race. And then Bear Chaos, not sure what happened to Bear Chaos as we did miss it, but here in 10th place is still putting in his laps here. He is starting to shed some time off of the driver up in front of him here. But right now it is Koke in the lead of the race. You can see it is starting to get dark here at Watkins Glen now. So these drivers are going to have to now contend with some dark conditions. It's going to be a lot harder to see where braking points are coming up. They're going to have headlights in their review mirrors when drivers are catching up to them. And of course the racetrack is cooling down now. So with that being said, we should actually expect to see grip levels for a little while start to pick up. And then they'll start to fall off as that track temperature really starts to cool down. So it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers handle the constant track conditions here in the race today. Again, that multiplier is at 15 times. So by the end of this race, it is going to be very, very dark for our drivers here on the racetrack. Venice Speed here in 3rd place and not having a great lap here. You see him collecting up a nice handful of penalties here. And I'm assuming that's probably coming through the bus stop. So he is going to serve some time at the penalty marker here. And that could very well cost him about 2 to 2.5 seconds on S. Clarkson in 4th place, trying to catch up to him here. So this is going to be a big game for Clarkson here. And he may not even realize what's happening in front of him, but he just realizes he is catching up. So here we go. A little battle going on between Perea and Ricard. We just missed Perea making the move here on Ricard, which is really unfortunate. We don't have our live action replays here at GT7 yet. Hopefully they get that into us soon here into the game and get us back our live action replay function. It would be fantastic. But Perea now up into P5, 6.4 seconds behind S. Clarkson. Let's see what he can do to shed down that time, and let's see if he can lose K. Ricard in behind, now in 6th place. So great job by Perea there, our Mexican driver here today, and looking very strong in this Mercedes AMG in the mid part of this race, of course. So Merch here in 7th. He can see some tail lights here now, so 1.5 seconds off K. Ricard. We've got Andre as well, 7.6 seconds. He can't quite see those tail lights, but those drivers are just at the other end of that straightaway. Mr. Smurf here starting to shed that time down. We were a little over 16 seconds. He's got it down to 12 seconds. We could see Smurf make a resurgence in the final half of this race yet. And Bear Chaos losing a little bit of time off that 9th place driver, but still on track, putting in the time and putting in that experience. Seat time is everything here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, these drivers do have drop rounds that are going to help throughout the season, so if you don't necessarily have the best race in one of these races, that's okay. You shake it off, and at the end of the season, that one's just going to be dropped. It doesn't count for anything. It's just a bad day. So it's very important for the drivers to continue on and just put their time in on the racetrack, because it's valuable experience in the car. And valuable experience in the car relates to pace at the end of the season. So Koke in charge of this race currently here, about almost midway through. I mean, we're getting there. We're a third of the way through this race. We're on lap 9 here currently, and Koke looking very solid, but Apex Heathen has not let him get away. He has just maintained that distance. It's been about 1.4, 1.3, 1.5 seconds all race long here. So Apex Heathen's just kind of sitting there waiting for an opportunity or a moment to strike on that first place driver, Koke. Vetaspeed here a little bit behind these guys now. He is starting to fall off the pace of the lead 2 cars here. 8-second gap between Apex Heathen and third place driver Vetaspeed here. So we'll have to see how he can find some time. We've got S. Clarkson here in 4th place, and he is running some pretty good consistent laps here. He's a little bit on the slower end here as these tires are starting to wear down for these drivers, but doing very solid in 4th place. It looks like we're going to have a nice little battle here. As we can see, 2 of the drivers going super wide there. So Perea is just going to gain more time now on those back 2 drivers and Ricard and Merch after they're going to pick up those track limit penalties for going so wide in turn 1. So he should really need just to focus on shutting that time down to Clarkson. Now he is starting to gain time. It was a little over 4 seconds last time we were here. He's now got that gap down to 3.6 seconds. So showing some good pace. We have Ricard here not picking up a penalty actually in turn 1, and nor is driver Merch by the looks of it. So both drivers, oh, Merch did pick up a penalty there in turn 1, so unfortunate for him. Not sure why the driver in front didn't get the penalty to go with. Mr. Smurf now up into 8th place, so gaining a position. So we must have either seen a pit stop or a mistake by our driver, 9th place here, Andre. And Bear Chaos here in 10th place still, and you can see he's opting to come in for a pit stop. So Bear Chaos is making a pit stop very early on in the race here at lap 10. So interesting, looking like a 2-stop strategy for Bear Chaos. We have Koke here in 1st place, and Apex Heathen has disappeared. He is no longer just minuscule seconds behind here. He has made a mistake on this racetrack somewhere and now dropped all the way down to 3rd place. So Vetaspeed has now moved up into P1, and Apex Heathen has dropped down to P2. But you see Vetaspeed making a pit stop. Heathen going along his way. So Apex Heathen back up into 2nd place. Now 10 seconds off the lead. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can shave that time down. Not sure what happened to Apex Heathen there, but must have made a mistake in one of the sectors there and just losing some time. Clarkson, 3.8 seconds behind Heathen, having a pretty solid race. He's in a good spot here right now. Nice little gap, 4.8 seconds from Perea, now in 4th place with some drivers starting to make pit stops. Battle here. K. Ricard starting to put the pressure back on Perea here, and we're side by side, so let's get on board with this battle and watch it here via camera view. And looks like Ricard backed off here a little bit. So coming into the bus stop, he's going to just opt to go single file here. I don't think he wanted to go 2x2 through the bus stop, so we did see him back off a little bit there. But Perea absolutely just getting a good run through there and saying, see you later, mate. Catch me if you can. So K. Ricard, they're now trying to play a little bit of catch up on Perea here. And we'll have to see if he can gain some time here through this middle sector at Watkins Glen as we're coming around this crazy tight corner. And he does gain some time there, so great line by Ricard as we're coming up into this right-hander, sorry. And again, we're seeing all these drivers stay in 3rd gear. There we go, a driver finally realizing to go down to 2nd gear to keep those RPMs up, and he's going to give him a good run on that driver in front. But you see Perea there, you see him trying to break that slipstream a little bit by moving across the track. So that is a legal move, and oh, Ricard trying to go really late on the brakes there to make up some time, and that's going to cost him a position. If you see Merch just pulling through there, so thank you very much. Gonna take that inside line, gonna grab P5 from Ricard. So Ricard trying to get a little late on the brakes there, and it cost him another position from Merch. So Ricard dropping back to P6. We are seeing some absolutely great racing here by our amateur division today, ladies and gentlemen. Are we not? I hope we're all enjoying this race. I'm just trying to get us the TV camera here. All right. So, Venispeed, after making his first pit stop here, now coming out in 7th place. Mr. Smurf in 8th. We've got Andres in 9th, and we've got Bear Chaos right there in 10th. And it looks like Bear Chaos is in the mix of it here. So coming out in the middle of some traffic. That should make things a little spicy for the mid-pack here in the race. But Koke, 14 seconds up the road from the 2nd place driver, Apex Heathen, who's currently purple on the racetrack. So let's see what Heathen can do here. He gaining some time there. He dripped about half a second, getting a little bit wide out of the bus stop, but bringing that Mercedes back around and getting into that curb. He's going to get a nice exit here. So 13.8 seconds, Apex Heathen from Koke in 1st place. You can see S. Clarkson here is just in behind, and only 2.7 seconds. So once he gets around this corner, he's going to see the taillights of Apex Heathen up in front of him. So he knows that he's close and he's within striking distance if Apex Heathen does make a mistake. We got Pernea here in 4th place, and this driver has been showing some absolute racecraft here on the racetrack for our amateur division. We just got our message there. We figured better check it, make sure it was nothing vital to what's going on here. Oh, and there we go. So we got a battle here for 5th place with Merch and Perdea. And Merch in the same corner as last lap is going to gain another position. So grabbing P4 from Perea. Perea is trying to fight back here, trying to hold that outside line. He just can't get the job done. So great move there by Merch in that Mercedes on Perea. So Perea now down to P5. Ooh, getting it wrong there, a little bit wide. Probably going to pick up a penalty for that corner. He's getting it a little bit wrong here as well. Ooh, it's going to cost a position. And a half-second penalty. It doesn't cost him a position there, so the driver behind must have followed his line and made the same mistake. But you can see that Ricard is gaining coming into T1. Ricard is showing some pretty incredible patience after that bold attempted move there a couple laps ago. Now you can see he's just settling back into his race here. So again, these drivers are learning on the fly here, a lot of these drivers, and it's valuable experience that they're picking up on the racetrack here tonight. So Mr. Smurf in 8th place. We got Andres, getting it all kinds of wrong coming into pit lane here. No, he wasn't going into pit lane. He just got it all kinds of wrong there. He's going to pick up a half-second track limit penalty, and that's going to give Bear Chaos a chance to catch up a little bit here. So Bear Chaos is under fire by another driver there. Is it Koke? It is not Koke. So who is behind Bear Chaos here? I believe it is Venispeed that may be behind. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, we got Mr. Smurf has gotten it wrong coming out of the bus stop. He has a little bit of rear aero and rear suspension damage. I believe that the damage is light for the amateur guys here, though, so that will go away in due time. Bear Chaos here in 10th place. I could be wrong by that, though. We'll find out next time we come through here. But Koke, 12.6 seconds up the road. So Heathen has shed a second off of Koke here in the lead. But I'm sure he would be within that 1.6 second range, would be much more comfortable for him. But he's got some work ahead of him here. Let's see how he handles the pressure, trying to catch up the leader as he comes back around here for lap 14. So you can see these drivers are really stretching out these tires here tonight. And there we go. We got S. Clarkson coming into pit lane. Really wide entry. He's probably going to see a 3-second penalty there for pit lane entry there, as he did come across that yellow line. We've got Merch, who's now going to grab P3 after Clarkson's pit stop here. There we go. Perea is going to come around in 4th. And we got battle for 4th and 5th place between Ricard and Perea coming into turn 1, the 90-degree corner. And Perea with the cutback. Beautiful move by Perea. And he is going to get the job done coming up the S's, moving up into the back straight and the bus stop. Absolutely beautiful attempted move there by Ricard, but Perea ready and with the cutback, ready to get that position back. Absolutely outstanding stuff by these two drivers here. They are putting on a show in the mid part of this race for us here today. So as I did promise, ladies and gentlemen, we'll let all these pit stops just kind of cycle through here, and then we're going to let you guys see what these guys are doing here. So Koke in the lead, and again, 12.5 seconds up the road here, in the mid part of this race now. We're 25 minutes in, we're on lap 14, so we are definitely at the halfway point of this race now. We're just a little over at a 12.5 second gap on Apex Heathen in 2nd place. Apex Heathen in 2nd place, he has a 12-second gap on the 3rd place driver, Merch. So he really just needs to focus on trying to catch that P1 driver up ahead. Merch in third place here, doing everything he can to try and close that gap up on Heathen. 11.3 seconds behind the second place driver, 4-second gap to the fourth place driver Perea, who just had a beautiful battle with K. Ricard here over the last couple of laps in fourth place. 1.8 seconds is the gap between him and K. Ricard, and growing, coming up into the latter part of the infield section, coming to the end of the lap. Venice Speed, who we've seen make a pit stop here now, in sixth place. So well, it'd be interesting to see what he's got up his sleeve here. We can see him take a really small fuel load, so potential two-stop strategy coming out of Venice Speed there. As Clarkson, who we just seen make a pit stop as well, in seventh. We got Andre here in eighth place, and we've seen him make a pit stop a little bit earlier on in the race, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy he's got up for the race here today. Mr. Smurf, he's just had a little bit of a tough race today here, but there is what he's looking at, and looking to get ready in for a long stint here. And Bear Chaos as well, settling into his stint here. He's just made a pit stop a couple laps ago as well. So we do have the race leader has now opted to pit into pit lane. So we are with Apex Heathen, who is now in the race lead here. And let's see what he can do. It was a 12-second gap between him and Koke when Koke went into the pit. So let's see if Heathen can shed some time off of that gap for when he finally does decide to make that pit stop. Merch here in second place now due to the pit stop by our race leader Koke, but Koke coming back out in third place. So the top three drivers here tonight showing some incredible pace and showing that these guys have probably been the hardest working guys in the practice sessions leading up to this week's race here for round one. So great pace shown by the top three drivers here. Vent Speed in fourth place, only 2.4 seconds behind Koke though, so he is in this fight. Clarkson here 11 seconds behind the fourth place driver. He's got a little bit of work to do, and he has some pressure from Andres in behind, who's only half a second behind. We come into Perea here, who's been having a fantastic race. We know this guy's got the skill on the racetrack, so let's see what he can do moving forward near the end of this race. K. Ricard, who's been battling very hard with Perea here, just a little bit off the pace now, 4 seconds behind that driver. Mr. Smurf, 24 seconds back. Again, we've seen a couple of spins from Mr. Smurf, so he's still doing a really great job and showing really good pace here. And of course, Bear Chaos just putting the laps into it, everything he can to try and catch that time back up. But Apex Heathen is our current race leader on lap 16 here, absolutely stretching this stint out. We now have Merch jumping into pit lane. You can see him on 0% fuel. He could not have taken that car any further. We've got Beefcake Haley coming in with the sub on YouTube. We've got Chris Reeves coming in with another 100-star bomb. Much love. Let's get another hashtag Chris up in the chats, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got Paolo Talodoc coming in with the thumbs up. Much love, everybody. Welcome in. I hope everybody's enjoying the broadcast. Welcome on Facebook and YouTube. Again, we are broadcasting for Flat Out Racing North America. This is the Amateur Division Season 2 Round 1 at Watkins Glen. And lots more to come from this absolutely blazing fast division here on Saturdays for the next 10 to 12 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. And this is not just all of it. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for our Elite Division broadcast live here at GT45 Gaming, the Flat Out Racing YouTube and Apex Sim Racing YouTube, and also rebroadcasting Pro and the 2 Pro-Am divisions on Mondays as well. That time will be posted on the socials once we sort out when we're going to break all that down for everybody. But he's in with a 40-second lead here now, so you can see he's going to come into pit lane. He needs to keep this right and tight. He got to make sure he does not pick up that penalty. Fantastic entry into pit lane. Very good pit entry. So where is Koke? Going to come out in front of Heathen. This is going to be at least a 50 to 60 second stop for Heathen, depending on how much fuel he's got to put in that Mercedes. So let's see what the gap is going to be. Oh, and Koke getting it wrong at the worst possible time. Our second place driver making a big braking error, and that could be what Heathen needed to get back in the fight for P1 in the latter half of this race. So let's see what happens. We're coming around here. Heathen in pit lane. You can see he was on 0% fuel in that car as well. So racing on fumes. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to our second and third place driver, Koke and Vent Speed now. These two drivers are now coming across that start-finish line. Where is Heathen? Heathen is on his way out of pit lane. This is going to be very close, ladies and gentlemen. We see Koke and Venispeed coming around turn 1 right now. Heathen has come out of pit lane in the lead. Apex Heathen has made the overcut work, ladies and gentlemen. Apex Heathen has taken the race lead via pit stop. Absolutely fantastic strategy being shown here by Apex Heathen. 1.3 seconds up the road. Koke is chasing with Venispeed very close behind. All top 3 drivers within 2 seconds. Battle rejuvenated, chat. Battle rejuvenated. Pit stops, pit strategies always bring these drivers back together. We have Merch here in 4th place, and his battle right now is with that pack lurking in the background with Clarkson, Ricard, Perea, Mr. Smurf a little bit off the pack here in 8th. We see Andres coming out of pit lane here right now, and Bear Chaos in 10th place. Again, we are missing a couple of drivers here today, so that'll be a drop around factored in for those 2 drivers here for this week. But Apex Heathen is the new race leader after our pit stops have circulated through. So he did what he needed to do there. He closed off a 12.5 second gap on that overcut and manages to come out just a couple of seconds ahead of Koke. That missed corner by Koke turning out to be a very pivotal moment here late in the race. 1.2 seconds is the distance between Koke and 3rd place driver Venispeed here. So this battle isn't done between 3rd and 2nd place here either. I think we're going to see an absolutely fantastic battle for the top 3 positions here tonight. Merch in 4th place and looking very strong. Again, 3.1 second gap on Clarkson. Clarkson's starting to close it up. You can see that gap closing every corner, so Clarkson is starting to pick it up here. We got Ricard now in 6th place. We've got Perea in 7th. We've got Mr. Smurf in 8th. We see Venispeed having to make a pit stop. We did see he was on short fuel, and we did drop that banner there. So Venispeed now in the pit lane. What is that going to cost him compared to these drivers who just opted to take the 1 stop? Ryan Bessie coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. And one more time before the end of this race, we are raising money for Wounded Warrior Project here on the Facebook page at GT45 Gaming today. If you are watching on the Facebook page and you are able and willing to donate to the Wounded Warrior Project, right beside the comments you'll see 3 little dots. You hit those 3 little dots, it'll open up 3 options for you to send stars to the creator, to subscribe to the channel, or to donate to the charity. You click on the donate to charity and Facebook will then take you to a secure, safe website to donate directly to Wounded Warriors Project. We will get the alerts on the stream, and we will give you all those shout outs at the end of the stream for everybody who has donated or is intending on donating. We appreciate it, and we are going to do that through all 5 of our broadcasts here this week with Flat Out Racing North America. To all our servicemen and women currently serving who have served, thank you very much for your service. We appreciate everything you've done to protect our freedoms, and thank you on behalf of GT45 Gaming and its community. Absolute legends, all of you. So Koke starting to lose the pace on the leader, Heathen. So Heathen at 4.5 seconds here right now. Nice little cushion. He's in a spot now where he can either open that gap up further or just maintain the pace and watch that gap. If I were Heathen, I would just be worried about maintaining this gap right now, and if Koke starts to make a push, Heathen has the tire and the car underneath of him to drive back away. Merch now in 3rd place with Venispeed having to make that pit stop there. So the 2-stop strategy, much like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, proving to be not quite as strong as per se that 1-stop strategy. We're seeing quite a few of these drivers opting to take here today. Clarkson in 4th place, 5.6 seconds behind 3rd place driver Merch. K. Ricard, the host of our lobby here, our AM division administrator here today, currently sitting in 5th, 1.4 seconds behind 4th place driver Clarkson, but making some time up there very quickly. 0.2 of a second made up in turn 1. We got Perea here in P6, 2.2 seconds off of those 2 guys. So 3-way battle developing there between those drivers. Venispeed has his work cut out for him. He needs to get moving. Mr. Smurf in 8th place, 6.4 seconds behind Venispeed. Andres in 8th place, and Bear Chaos here in 10th. So Apex Heathen leading the charge here. We are in lap 19 of 25. We have 5.5 laps remaining here, and we can see the leader coming into some lap traffic here. So It is going to be interesting to see how our amateur drivers handle a blue flag situation very early on in the season, and it's a good test for them. It's a very good test for them, and we'll see how they handle this, because it sure looks like Apex Heathen is going to catch them sitting on a purple sector here, coming around the final 2 corners, looking to also take fastest lap points here today. So far currently, Apex Heathen has taken that pole position point due to qualifying, so he already has a bonus point before this race even started, and now as he comes around the start-finish line, he is currently sitting on the fastest race lap of the race with a 1:45.473. If that holds, that will be an additional bonus point for Apex Heathen, and if he maintains that first place position, he will gain a very, very huge 25 points to start this season off and get a very good start to his season towards a brand new GTR simulator rig that is awarded to champion from each division here this season. Brought to you by GTR Simulators, one of the main sponsors here at Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen. And the podium finishers are also receiving some fantastic prizes from Apex Racing Team, as well as the other main sponsor here in the series. Very, very large prize pool up for grabs here this season through all the divisions, so lots to race for, and we've seen it very early on in this AM race here early on in the season. These guys are feeling the pressure of the prize pool here. They are putting it all on the line right in race 1. It is going to be a absolutely fantastic season here, and here we go. It is starting to kick off between these drivers here as we're coming through the bus stop. We've got Clarkson, Ricard, and Perea all very close together coming out of the bus stop. These guys are almost nose to tail. Clarkson got a really good run and exit out of the bus stop and out of the carousel here. We're now coming into the sweeping left-hand corner, and it's about a mid-speed corner if you do it right, but you can see he cannot shake these 2 guys in behind. All he can see is tail light, and look at the time gained by Ricard under braking coming into this corner, but Perea, oh, and he gets it wrong. Perea's going to get the job done. He's going to move in front of Ricard. Ricard getting a little bit wide there into the grass, and he had to slow down, so he's going to drop down to 6th place. Perea now on the charge to try and catch up to S. Clarkson here, 4th place, and look at the time that he made up under the braking there. Absolutely made up a ton of time into that corner. But you can see that Clarkson is had a much better corner there. So what a battle we're having here for 4th, 5th, and 6th place right now currently on the racetrack between these 3 drivers. Perea going really wide, and oh, Ricard getting even wider there. So potential penalties coming for these 2 drivers, but Perea getting a great run onto the final corner. Oh no, and Ricard is gotten it wrong. He has come into the wall. He's getting that car sorted out right now, trying to get it back in the right direction and on the road again, and there we go, half-second penalty. Really unfortunate for Ricard, and he's actually under threat here now from vent speed, so a little bit of damage on that Mercedes as well, so he's going to be a little slow as he's trying to get back up to speed here. So we're going to stick with Venice speed here now, as he is going to try and grab P6 there from K. Ricard, and Ricard has been having a really good race. He's just made some small mistakes that have really cost him big here today, and potentially going to drop another spot here to Venice speed. Mr. Smurf is right on top of these guys as well, so Mr. Smurf's pace is starting to come into play here as he's starting to catch up this mid-pack, looking to grab some more positions to get up those standings. But the race lead does belong to Apex Heathen, now 8 seconds up the road from Koke. We have 4 laps remaining at this point. He doesn't need to force the issue here anymore. He just needs to get this car around the racetrack 4 more times and bring this baby home to that checkered flag. So Apex Racing sponsor, Heathen, the sponsor driver here in the AM division, trying to bring one home for the team early on in the season here. Be a great start for the sponsor, Apex Racing. I'm sure they'll be absolutely thrilled to see their driver bring home a P1 here today. Koke in 2nd place again, 8.4 seconds off. Now, if you remember when we showed you guys the information, Koke started on the soft tires and medium was on, Heathen was on the medium. So now, at the end of the race, Heathen is on the faster tire compound. I don't know if Koke has the tire and the pace to catch Heathen on the soft tires. Heathen literally just needs to bring this home. In 4th place now is Perea, and he has made up some time. This driver all the way up into 4th place, and 12-second gap on Clarkson. So Clarkson has made a mistake, has lost that position to Perea, and is now fighting for his life against Mr. Smurf, who has found his way around Venice speed. So these guys are swapping positions like checkers here right now in this midfield, and you can see Ricard is under pressure here by Venice speed as well. So Venice speed looking to grab a P7 here as we're coming into turn 1. Is he going to take a look? Ricard does cover off corner 1 really well there. He doesn't really give Venspeed room to make the move. Venspeed's going to pick up a track limit penalty here, so really unfortunate for Venspeed. Andre's in 9th, and Bear Chaos here in 10th place. And, you know, huge shout out to these drivers that haven't had the best day. They're still here on track and putting in their time, man. So, massive props to the drivers that have struggled a little bit today, but are finishing out this race. Massive respect to those drivers. That's what we love to see here in the sim racing community. These guys want to get faster, they want to get better, and they know the way to do it is just to continue to put your head down, put your foot in the pedals, and get as much help and advice from the group as you can. And by the end of the season, they're all going to have smiles on their faces because they're all going to be faster. But Heathen is the man everybody's chasing. Let's jump on board with Heathen for a lap. Enjoy the sights and sounds of this Mercedes for a lap with Apex Heathen.
Thank you.
Didn't hear, so we get to do it again. All right, sorry,
I
ladies
hear
and
you.
gentlemen, you guys couldn't hear my audio, so the drivers get to listen to this all over again. We are with our drivers here, and absolutely fantastic race from our amateur division here today. These guys set the precedence for the series moving forward. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, Elite Division broadcast live 7 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow here at GT45 Gaming's Facebook and YouTube channel. We're also going to be on Flat Out Racing North America's YouTube and Apex Sim Racing's YouTube as well. We're going to be all across the board for that race tomorrow. But we're here with our amateur drivers, and these guys stole the show tonight. And boy, oh boy, fantastic job by our amateur drivers. Calling these guys amateur drivers is almost an insult with what they just showed us here tonight. Fantastic stuff from these guys. We're going to go and jump in with our third place driver, Merch, as it was on screen there, a fellow Canadian driver tier in the series, and great race by you today. First race of the season. How do you feel coming into a race this early in the season against drivers that you're not really familiar with, and how do you approach the first one just to shake those nerves and that little bit of pressure off?
I don't know if I ever shook the nerves. This is my first league race, so it was kind of a new thing for me. Quali went pretty good, and by lap four, I'd messed it up pretty good, down to ninth, and managed to make my way back up to third by the end of it.
No, absolutely. And again, solid pitch strategy coming out of you today. You know, we did see the variable strategies. Now, at the start of the broadcast, we did talk to the viewers about the two different types of strategies, and it was a one stop versus a two stop strategy here today for the race here at Watkins Glen. Did you stick to your initial strategy when you came into the race today, or did you have to kind of change it up on the fly?
No, my strategy was just to stick on the softs as long as I could and as long as my fuel held out. So I did fuel save a little bit on the last couple laps on softs and took them as far as I could and switched down to the mediums and went from there.
Well, and again, you know, for your very first ever competitive league race, congratulations on a podium finish. That's huge. I'm sure you've got to be absolutely excited inside right now. And I mean, you looked really solid out there. You're showing some very good consistency. You showed some very good pace, and you showed good patience. And those are some key combinations to being successful here in league racing. And these are about 45-minute races all season long, so you can call them some small endurance races. And what are you most excited for and looking forward to throughout the series to gain from league racing here?
I'm just looking forward to the competition. This was a pretty close grid. It was good racing. It was clean racing. A few incidents here and there, but anytime anything happened, the driver that was at fault seemed to wait and let the other guy pass. It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and drivers in the chat, make sure you just save your replays too while I'm thinking of it, please and thank you. A fantastic run, absolutely great way to bring in the start of the season. I mean, now as we know with the sponsors of Apex Racing and GTR simulators coming on board, there is a huge prize pool up for grabs here. So a brand new sim rig, is that enough motivation for you to put lots of practice in and week out to try and win the top of this division this season?
Yeah, that's certainly a motivator for sure.
Absolutely. So coming in with a solid, I believe the way the points breaks down, I think you're coming in with an 18-point race here today. I'm not sure which driver actually ended up with fastest lap at the end of the race there, but there is bonus points available for fastest lap and pole position sitters as well. So remember that, folks, as we move forward in the further rounds. There is bonus points up for grabs for you guys as you guys are chasing each other through the standings here. I mean, good solid race by you. You look really solid out there. You're clearly going to be a competitor here in the amateur division this season. But from what I've seen, I think anybody at any given week can really take one of these races home. And I think that come the end of the season, there's going to be a very tight points battle for the top three spots in the division. So, massive congratulations to you on the very first season debut here at Flat Out Racing North America, and of course your very first league debut. You looked absolutely beautiful out there in the broadcast. The car looks amazing, and shout outs, my friend.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to shout out to say thank you to?
No, not at the moment. Thanks.
Perfect. All right. Well, congratulations, and I can't wait to see what you have for us next week, my man. Alsace Village. So, you will see these guys testing and tuning all week long, and they'll be ready for round two at Alsace Village next week. So, we're going to move to our second place driver, Koke, who has looked very, very solid in this first race here this season. A very, very great second place finish for you. Not the ideal finish you were probably looking for. Getting such a good race start, being on those soft tires, you were hoping to open that gap up a little bit. But there was a point in the race there where the leader was about 8 seconds ahead. He made a mistake, and all of a sudden you're right there in the shot for the win. So, how do you handle the pressure of trying to chase down the leader in with only 2 or 3 laps to go, knowing that you're potentially on a slower compound of tire?
Oh yes, it's a fucking I love it races, and a very difficult race and problems with the stint, first stint. But very important thing, I was fun and great on my team. On my team, the first spin is a turn one, very difficult, and the first step. But it's, it's, it's amazing. My first race is 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 confusing, but me I need more study strategies. But I think I so excited.
You had a fantastic race. You showed very, very good
Thanks, man.
pace in qualifying, and not only in qualifying, in the race. And you are definitely going to be a competitor here for the top of the charts at the end of the season. So, is this your very first league race as well, or are you used to league racing?
Yes, thank you. It's so fantastic. Qualify. I need I need greatest all the team, my friends, and for you. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And again, congratulations on a very strong second place finish. I believe that's 21 points for you to start the season, and very good start to the season. Can't wait to see you next week at Alsace Village.
Yes, I thank you. Very points. Thank you. I need more points, but my team is very happy for this.
Absolutely great showing, and I'm sure that you'll be ready come next week to try and take that top spot.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely. Cheers. All right, and we're going to move to our winner of the week here for this round here, Watkins Glen. We're going to move to sponsor driver Apex Heathen. Now, Apex Heathen does drive for one of the sponsors of the series here. He's the only driver from Apex Sim Racing in the field. We were talking with the guys a little bit before the race there, and they were pretty excited to see their boy coming in. And I got to tell you, I bet you the crew house back at the team house, the clubhouse, is absolutely on fire and rocking right now. Huge race from you, my man. You definitely had some ups and downs throughout the race. Talk us through it.
My guy. Whoa, what a race. I I started on the mediums and I wanted to try and make them last as long as I could. The first half of the first stint, I I pushed as much as I could, made a couple small errors 2 laps in a row. One was right after I had made my first pass on Koke, and I made the pass on him and was just trying to push too hard into that next turn to try and get the gap built up, and just overcooked it and missed my breaking point and ran it wide, got into the wall a little bit. Luckily, with the damage model, I didn't hurt me too bad. Um, got back out. I knew that it was going to take the overcut to get him at that point, because of the gap. So at that point, I started going into fuel and tire saving mode for the rest of that stint, and it worked out for me because I was able to get out and push my entire soft stint. And then there was that incident on the next to last lap, or the lap before that, and I just, coming down the front straightaway, I was a little bit further over to the left than I thought it was, with it being dark like it was, and my left tires were just barely in the grass when I hit the brakes, and when I hit the brakes and went to turn in, and I knew instantly that it was gone. And I was just hoping that I'd end up back in a position where I could get the car back around quick enough to get back out on track in front of Koke. And I did, but it was it was real close, and I was sweating it, man.
He was
He gave me a run
within
for my money in
he
qualifying
was
and the
within
race.
slipstream range of you at that point when you did
Oh
make
yeah,
that mistake. So the only the
yeah.
big deciding factor there, two deciding factors there actually. When Koke was on his lap in your pit lap, he came around that hard right hand hairpin before the final three corners of the track there, and he made a little bit of a mistake and went wide, and that cost him probably about 2 seconds on the racetrack. And that two
He had
seconds
me.
that it cost him there was about the distance that
He
you
had
came
me.
out in pit lane. So I think that you guys would have actually come out side by side at the end of that pit lane. But nonetheless, you two put on an absolute fantastic show for these race fans tonight, and a little bit of fireworks at the end, of course, compliments of Apex Heathen.
Yeah, man, I can already tell the competition between me and him is going to be real close this year, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it a lot. And like I said earlier, buena carrera, amigo. You deserve that podium.
Absolutely, and I mean, you guys, seriously, you guys have absolutely set a precedence moving forward for the other four divisions. Racing tomorrow, of course, we have the two Pro-Am divisions racing at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll actually bring that information up for you guys right now. Here we go. So you see that the Elites are at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is going to be a live broadcast here by GT45 Gaming on all the socials. And then at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time is the Pro Lobby. That will be done via replay Monday night, and then we have both our Pro-Am lobbies at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and again, both those lobbies will be redone as replay broadcasts Monday night as well. So that's how it's stacking up here for Flat Out Racing North America as we move forward. And I mean, Alsace Village, Heathen, tough racetrack. We all know it's a very tough racetrack. It's got lots of tight, hard corners, and probably not the most ideal race track for the Mercedes coming into round two. So how do you approach a more technical racetrack for a car that's designed for a more high-speed racetrack?
That one is definitely going to take a whole lot of practice, because this car's kind of a boat, and that's a real small, tight track. As you and I learned last season in DMJ, that's a tough track to get around in a big car, and this being more of a front heavy car, whereas the Porsche that we ran in that was a little bit, not quite as front heavy where the engine's in the back, and this thing's got such a long front end on it. That first corner, you're going to have a lot of push, a lot of understeer in that corner. So it's going to take a lot of practice, and just that's definitely going to be a tire saving track there. Now, I don't think fuel is going to be so much of an issue there as tires are, but for sure.
Well, I mean, great start to the season for you. You're going to pick up the big 25 points for the race win. You're going to pick up the bonus point for pole position. I'm not sure which driver actually ended with fastest lap. It looked like you lost fastest lap right in the last lap there, so it's going to be interesting to see how that point settles. But grabbing a bonus point on top of the 25 points, so a 26-point gain here for you tonight. And, of course, all the drivers now, ladies and gentlemen, do have 24 hours to submit any incident reports, and that will be left, of course, in the hands of the amazing officials here at Flat Out Racing North America. They've already had some hard work to do very early on in the season before the season started with, of course, the race-off in Elite Division last Sunday. They had to make a tough call there, and, of course, that is the option. So the AM Division will have until the end of race time tomorrow night to file any incident reports, and then the stewards, of course, will take it from there. So you guys, please feel free to speak amongst yourselves, decompress, laugh, giggle, do your thing, do what you guys got to do, and thank you very much for the
shout outs real quick.
Oh yes, of course, your shout out to them.
You got to thank the sponsors, High Pre, GT45 Racing, of course, my boys, Apex Racing Team, and GTR Simulators, man. Thank you guys very much, and I want to thank my wonderful girlfriend Rachel for putting up with me racing on Saturday nights.
Absolutely. It is a sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen. Families make these sacrifices for us guys to get in these rigs and race against each other too. So huge shout out to the families behind the scenes for all our drivers as well. And yes, you guys feel free to, again, like I said, talk amongst yourselves now. It's nice and safe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it. Absolutely great interviews from our AM guys here. It's been a great race tonight. I don't know what else to say, but whew, These guys absolutely put on a show tonight. If this is what the AM division looks like here at Flat Out Racing North America, ladies and gentlemen, then imagine what the next divisions are going to look like. The elite guys are absolutely going to put on a show for us here tomorrow at Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't want to miss that show. The elite driver is a massive all-star lineup. Some of your favorites are in the field. There's going to be some big names in the field. There's World Tour drivers in the elite division, ladies and gentlemen. You want to find out who? Head over to GT45 Gaming. Head over to the Flat Out Racing North America Instagram page and go check out the socials. It's all there for you to see for yourself. We have the future generation of the World Series Tour events in the field in the elite division, and we have current World Tour drivers in the field in the elite division. And then we've got the best of the drivers in Flat Out Racing North America going up against them to test their mettle against some of the fastest drivers in Gran Turismo. It's going to be a fantastic race. Absolute fantastic race. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate all your support. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and we absolutely appreciate all the support here tonight. You guys lit it up. It has been a fantastic night here over on the pages. Again, thank you to everybody who has donated to Wounded Warriors Project. If you have, we haven't gotten the alerts for it, unfortunately. We'll have to go track it later. We'll make a post for that. We appreciate the support. And we'll see you guys in about 24 hours for the next absolute crazy show from Flat Out Racing North America. Presented by Flat Out Racing North America, sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, stay winning, because you're all legends and we love you all. Thank you so much for the support. Have a fantastic evening.